Hello, good afternoon. Greetings, everyone. Happy Saturday. I'm Dr. Babs with Living at Your Finest, and I have a guest with me today on our Wise Up Weekend, Daraju Babalola, my son.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah, so we have started this series titled Wise Up Weekend. And I thought that we will start off by talking about what is in our food. So I was really impressed with my son last week when he was back from, I think you had soccer, right?
Yeah, soccer.
And then I found him reading a label. I was like, yes. We've been talking about last month was Nutrition Month. And we talked about how to pay attention to what is in our foods, what are the ingredients, portion size, and what's not, and how to read labels. And I was so impressed just seeing him read his label. So can you tell us a little bit about your snack and what you found out?
Yeah, so this is the snack. It's called Little Bites. As you can see, it already looks really, really artificial. Like even from like the cover. So right at the start, we see no high fructose corn syrup. And what I noticed was that in the ingredients, it says high fructose when it says no high fructose here, which means they're lying to us because they think we're not going to read the ingredients. And also, just look how many ingredients there are.
There's so many, right?
This.
Can you pronounce them?
I can't even count.
Can you try and pronounce one of them?
Corn, dextrose, whey
protein?
No, glyroserine.
Yeah, so you see, he can't even pronounce the words. There's so many. I think you counted them to be about 15. I mean, what kind of whole food will have 15 ingredients in them? Right. And tell me more about the coloring. What did you notice about the red and the blue?
Yeah. Just personally for me, since I have asthmatic, when I eat coloring, I start wheezing, and it's just not good for me. My mom kept telling me that you have to stop eating this, and I finally figured out that this is not good, and they don't really care about our health and everything. They just care about what they're getting, like money.
So who are you talking about? Are you talking about who is they that you're referring to?
The company that made this.
The company that made it. Okay. So what is the takeaway message? What are you going to be doing about this now that you have a sense of what triggers your asthma? You have a sense that don't just believe what is on the front. You have to read it yourself. What is your takeaway message?
Well, just try not to eat this. I'm not saying that you don't have to eat it at all, but maybe not once a month or something. Just don't try to eat this a lot because this will really mess up your whole body and will not be well for you.
Well, good. Well, thank you. Coming from you, we will make sure we listen. So absolutely. Well, thank you. So that's what we're talking about. So a quick overview. What's the importance of paying attention to the ingredients that we have in our food? And we also need to know what to look out for and what are the solutions. So let's dive into why it's so important. It's just so many addictive tendencies that occurs whenever we eat these foods that have all sorts of names and labels. I mean, see the labels, if you can see, there's so many. You can't even count, right? So they cause so much addiction. That's the food industry. They put a lot of addictive things. You little wonder you're always craving, you always want more, you're always going back for more because of the things that are inside the food. They're not naturally made, right? And unfortunately, because it's not naturally made, the body doesn't recognize it as food. And when it's not recognized as food, what ends up happening? It causes the insulin to spike higher than it normally will spike, causing a lot of chronic diseases like hypertension, diabetes.
And I would also like to say something. On the front, it's saying recycle with this business, and they're saying when you buy this stuff, it helps recycle and help the world, but they're just trying to convince you to buy this because you think you're doing a good deed, but you're actually just hurting yourself. So
that's true. That's a good point. Because again, it's tough because they're telling you buy more. It's addictive. Kids are eating this. And then you feel like when you buy more that you're helping. But there are other ways you can help without hurting your health. So that's so important. I'm glad that you brought that up about paying attention to what you're feeding your body, right? Because you don't want to hurt yourself in the long run. Now, chronic diseases, like we say, so you have high, your insulin is spiked much, much higher than it should. And then you have leaky gut, right? So you're feeling, remember how you used to feel very uncomfortable with the coloring, used to have that wheezing effect. And it affects the same thing with the GI tract. You just have leaky gut. So it's like punching a hole where the foods that you're supposed to absorb just falls out of the stomach lining because of all the addictive things that are in our ingredients. And of course, unfortunately, it weakens our gut. So what is the solution? How can we avoid this? First thing and foremost, I want you to pay attention to what are in your food that you should stay away from. So the artificial colors, like coloring, like my son said. Can you read what colors are in here?
So there's red, blue, there's that.
Yeah, so those are the two colors. So artificial coloring, when you have flavors, very, very bad. It causes leaky gut. It's very addictive. It's what makes you go back for more and more and more. And unfortunately, that leads to weight gain. Other things, aspartate, that is also addictive, makes you want more. It sips out all the nutrients in your body. This is usually found in soda, especially for women. You're sipping out your calcium, you're deranging your vitamin D. So there's a lot of things that can go wrong there. Now, high corn fructose syrup, that's made in the lab, isn't it? And this, what did you say? It said here that no high fructose corn syrup. So don't believe what they say. Read the label. It was written out clearly here. That
people are always trying to just deceive you.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that is almost 200 times sweeter than regular sugar, and it's engineered. So you want to pay attention to high fructose syrup in your foods. Sodium nitrite's not good. It affects so many things, so many levels. It weakens your immune system. You also want to pay attention to other chemicals, preservatives. So what are some of the preservatives based on what we're seeing here? I think we saw something about cannabis wasp. That is something that makes preservatives. It keeps it stable.
Yeah, so it's kind of like edible glue.
Edible glue. And then it keeps it increased half-life. So if it stays on the shelf for thousands of years, well, let's not exaggerate, not thousands, but maybe
still
6 years.
It still stays in perfect contact, but
and then it doesn't digest easily in the gut. So those are the things that we need to pay attention to. Now let me share some of these, so because I want you to see what we're talking about. So let me share this screen with you. All right, so if you can see this, let's see. So these are the ingredients to avoid in processed foods. Tons and tons of them. All the coloring causes leaky gut. Unfortunately, people say, I can't lose weight. That's because all your food is packed with things that are not nutritious. Your body doesn't recognize it as food, and then it causes a lot of inflammation. Inflammation causes illnesses and chronic diseases. So that's one that I need you to pay attention to. And then there's another I would like to share with you. Let's share one more screen that I think you should be aware of. Now, these are the common things. These are the things that were found in this food item. So artificial colors, artificial flavors, all the preservatives that are man-made and not meant to be in our foods, right? BHT, BHA, sucralose, that's just artificially made sugar, aspartates that are addictive substances. So these are the things that we need to pay attention to. Now, there is a great website that I would like to share with you. Well, actually, let me hide this. Let's go ahead and share the website where you can get more information. So let's see if this comes up well. So if you can see this over here, this is called thefoodbabes.com. I love this website because she has done a ton of work in the, food industry, and she attacks all the foods that have things that they claim are healthy. So if you just go here and just put in your email address, you will get the full report. This is where I'm sharing that information with you, and I hope that you find it helpful. All right, so now what is the solution? I mean, we've talked about all of this. We need to provide some solution, right? So the solution here, let's go to the solution. So eat God-made food. When we eat God-made food, what are some examples of God-made food?
I guess veggies.
Veggies.
Or pig.
Pig. Yeah, well, you're talking about protein, right?
That's
So
right.
fruits that are made in the soil, right? Food that are made in the ground, protein.
Apple, orange,
Hmm.
banana.
And then when you're picking your proteins, just make sure that you pick your protein, healthier proteins, proteins that are, not raised in a crowded area, things like that. We need to pay attention. So that's one solution. Make sure that we cook at home. When we cook at home, we are not putting all these additives. We're eating with herbs and spices that our body recognizes as food, turmeric, cayenne pepper, black pepper that you see me cook with, right? And doesn't the food taste great that way?
Yeah, it tastes just fine.
Very good. So I have a video that talks about how to spice up your health. So you want to watch that and pay attention to those herbs. Because when we cook at home, the truth of the matter is we cook healthy at home. We don't have all those additive things that, the restaurants or all those food industry or the box, when you buy boxed food, you don't know what they put in it. So those are some of the ways that you can actually eat healthy and you can pay attention to the food, the content that is in your food.
And sometimes they don't even put the ingredients on the labels. Like if there's like high fruit syrup, they don't even put in the ingredients or anything. They just hide it.
They just hide it? Yeah.
They don't even say anything about it.
So they might tell you that it's not there, but when you read it, you know that, okay, this is just not the way it's supposed to be. So what is our takeaway reflection? You don't have to eat less, just eat right. And so that's the takeaway message. Pay attention to what is in your food. All right. So that's the topic for today. Pay attention to what is in your food. Pay attention to those additives, the aspartates, the artificial coloring. It causes leaky gut. It causes inflammation that your body doesn't need. So the call of action now is, what are you going to do next time when you go grocery shopping, the next time you're eating? What ingredients are you going to pay attention to? Is it going to be the aspartates? Is it the high corn fructose syrup? I just run away anytime I see something called high corn fructose syrup because I have a sweet tooth, and the more I eat it, I want to eat more and more. And unfortunately, it causes a lot of chronic diseases, which, if food is our medicine, we will not need to use medication. So I want to thank, for staying tuned. We want to thank you for watching and staying tuned. And I hope that we can be healthier together. That's the whole idea. Stay healthy, stay stronger, be knowledgeable about what, the foods that we should eat. And don't forget to check foodbabes.com. It has tons of resources on the food, the ingredients that are in our foods that we need to avoid. Well, until next time, when we come back for Wise Up Weekend, enjoy your weekend and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Thank you.